The real reason why your money is reducing every day. Have you noticed that no matter how hard you try to save, your money just doesn't seem to go as far as it used to? Maybe you plan to buy something a few months ago, but now it costs double or even triple. If this feels familiar, you are not alone. The culprit is something called inflation. Let's dive into what this means, why it is happening in Nigeria, and how it affects you. First, let us tell us what is inflation. Inflation happens when the prices of goods and services increase over time, while the value of money remains the same or even decrease. Think of it this way: if you could buy a loaf of bread for 500 naira last year, but today it costs 800 naira, your money has lost some of its purchasing power. It's like having a balloon full of air, your money, but with a slow leak. Over time, the balloon deflates, and what you can do with it keeps shrinking. Why is inflation so high in Nigeria? There are a few reasons why inflation is hard. It's hitting Nigeria very, very hard. One, the exchange rate crisis. Nigeria imports a lot of goods, from food to clothing to fuel. To buy these things, businesses need foreign currencies like the US dollar. When the exchange rate becomes unstable, say the naira loses value compared to the dollar, it costs more naira to buy the same amount of goods. For example, if a hair product costs 1,000 naira when $1 was 500 naira, it might now cost 5,000 naira when $1 jumps to 1,000 naira. Another reason why we have inflation in Nigeria is the fuel price. Fuel is essential for transportation and powering business. With fuel prices rising sharply, transportation costs goes up, which then affects the price of everything else. A bag of rice doesn't just magically appear in the market. It is transported there. Yes, you have to transport it from one location to the other, because they are producing it somewhere and they have to transport it everywhere. So fuel prices actually affect the prices of food in the country, and the cost of that journey is added to the final price that they are going to sell the rice. Another cause of inflation in Nigeria is power supply issues. Nigeria electricity challenges are another major factor. When manufacturers and businesses can't rely on steady power, they have to spend more on generators and fuel to run them. This additional cost is passed on to you, the customer, exactly, because they have to make their money back. They have to calculate the price that they are buying for and all of that to add it to, if not, they are going to run at a loss. So that is another issue of inflation in our country. Another one is low local production. Do we even produce enough in this country? We hardly produce anything. Even though Nigerians are hardworking and creative, many raw materials and finished products are imported. For example, fabrics, electronics, and even some food items come from abroad. Without enough locally produced goods to balance demand, prices keeps climbing up. So, how does all of these things affect our everyday life? Inflation affects every aspect of our daily life, and here are some of the examples that inflation has affected: the cost of living, food, rent, transportation, and other necessities have become more expensive. Many people are now eating less or skipping meals altogether because they can't afford 3 square meals. It is very, very difficult for people to afford 3 square meals now. You don't even eat what you want to eat. You eat what you see. You manage what you see. And some people eat 101, 001, just so that at least something is in their tummy the whole day. So the cost of living has increased. Savings: if you save money without investing it wisely, the value of those savings decreases over time. For instance, 100,000 naira saved today might only buy what 50,000 naira could buy last year. And then also planning. Budgeting becomes a nightmare because prices are unpredictable. The price you bought yesterday is not the price that you buy tomorrow. So let's say you budgeted last month, you bought so amount of goods for so price, and in your head you're like, okay, when I get to the market, it's still the same price I spent last month, I'm going to spend this month. And when you get to the market, you find out that, oh, you just made a budget and this budget is not going to work for the new prices that you're seeing in the market. What you budgeted for groceries last month might not cover half of your need this month. So what can you do to cope in this time? Living in times of high inflation is tough, but there are strategies to help you manage. 1, you spend wisely. Don't spend on frivolities. Buy the things that you need. Don't buy things that you don't need. There are some things that you can just see and say, oh, I want this, but it is not a need, it is a want. So you say, I'm not going to look at this. There are some things that we just buy. Some people just buy impulsively. They buy things on impulse. They don't need that thing. At the end of the day, they'll buy it. They'll say that, oh, I really didn't really need this thing that I bought. So if you need to make a significant purchase and you can afford it now, consider buying it sooner rather than later. Waiting could mean paying much more later. Exactly. There's some things that you see and you say that, oh, I might need this thing, oh, and you be like, well, let me not buy it now. I'll buy it later. That later, the price must have doubled when you want to buy it later. So let us try to spend wisely. Don't buy the things that you don't need, and the things that you think that you need, buy them on time before the price go up. Another one you should do is to buy in groups. Pooling resources with friends or family to buy in bulk can save you money. Yeah, I know some groups that do that. They'll contribute money, they'll do sharing of rice, sharing of meat, sharing of ram. It actually helps. So if you have a group of people that you can collaborate with so that you can buy things together and share it, it's actually better that way. You get to have things more. You have it more in large quantities rather than going to the market and buying those things one by one. For instance, you can buy a bag of rice together and share it. Then you all split the cost. It's better that way. Number 3 is to earn in foreign currency. So that one is a bit tricky because it's not everybody that will get a remote job that would pay them in dollars. It's not very possible. So if possible, explore opportunities to earn in stronger currencies like the dollar. Remote jobs or freelance work for international companies can provide a financial buffer against inflation. It's going to be really hard, but there are some courses now that you can do online, especially for mothers that are at home and are spending time with their children for now that don't have a job. You can explore remote jobs that pay in dollars. And there are some courses online that you can learn, and then at the end of the day you get a certificate. Then it's not easy to get a foreign job because it's really not easy. I'm also in that right now. I've been looking for a remote job. It is not easy to get a remote job, but once you get it, very good luck to you. It is better to have a remote job and in foreign currency so that as the dollar is increasing, your own salary too is increasing. So if you can get it, very good. Number 4, you invest in assets. Rather than letting your money sit idle in a savings account, consider investing it in assets that grow in value over time. Don't just say, I'll keep my money in the bank and let me just be looking at it. No. If you can invest. Make sure that the thing that you want to invest in, you have found out about it very well so that they'll not go and scam you of your money again because you want to invest. So make sure that what you want to invest in is something that is feasible, something that you trust, something that you know the source, something that you can trace back and say, okay, yes, my money is safe in these people's hand. Don't just let your money sit down in the bank and banks are using your money to run their business. Instead, invest your money in assets that grow in value over time, like real estate, gold, stocks, and then you can deal with inflation problem that is going on in this country. I hope that we have learned something. Over to you. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, to share, and subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.